Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and if you're seeing this, I'm still overseas. In fact, a few weeks ago, I left over to England, Ireland, and Scotland, and I'm still over there, hopefully, as I'm recording this, of course, in advance. But I have put out a few film journeys, right, last week, and there was one recently. But I did want to make a video, of something, that just was a little bit of something before I come back to the States, right? And one thing that really prompted me to do this video, and I'm sure you already see the thumbnail and also the title of the videos, is I actually just recently got this in the mail right before I left, and I am so ecstatic about it. But this is the 5 Venoms right here. This is a phenomenal film of the Shaw brothers, Shawscope. Film right here of the 5 deadly venoms, and I am so ecstatic to have this in my collection. I loved this film so much, and I'm still heavily into martial arts now, and that's kind of a new love of mine. And I actually a few weeks ago did a video with Flip Otaku, and we talked all about this Shawscope set from Arrow Video, and I'm so pumped about it. But I loved the 5 Venoms so much, I wanted to get a poster. So that made me think, you know what, I just got this, I wanted to show it off, but also at the same time, why not just show off the posters that I have in my collection? So that's what I want to do today, is I want to showcase the posters that I have in my collection, and we'll go through various parts of my home, and I also have some things that are not framed just yet, so I'll show those first, and then we'll jump around, and I'll show you around with all the places and where all of my posters are. So let's just jump into it. But before we jump into that, tell me some of the posters that you have in your collection. I would love to hear some of your favorite movie posters that you have down in the comment section down below. All right, so real quick, we'll just jump into the ones that are unframed that I would really love to get framed sometime soon. But kind of jumping on the same kind of concept as the 5 Venoms, I also got One-Armed Boxer, and this was from Eureka. This was the Eureka double-sided poster right here. I like this poster quite a bit, but I love this poster so much more. So I think I want to get this framed. It looks really great, and great film, really great film. Next is one that's a little bit not safe for work, of course, but it's from Indicator, and this is the Mae West I'm No Angel poster, and then Mae West in She Done Him Wrong, which is this poster right here, which is kind of the artwork of the box set itself. And so I would love to get this framed sometime somewhere around the line. So I have a couple of other Indicator posters to show you real quick. One is the infamous Fu Manchu poster of Christopher Lee. This one's a little bit, risque to have, but Fu Manchu for mayor, just like in the films. But yeah, it's really cool to have it nonetheless. It's definitely a piece of history in cinema. And then a really cool one from Arrow Video when I got the 4K of this film. I have an American Werewolf in London right here. That's the original poster art, and then there is Arrow Video's poster art, which is awesome. This is incredible. I'm still torn on whether or not I want this one or I want this one. I like the originals a little bit more, but I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So now let's actually jump around into the movie room right here where we're at, and then we'll jump around in different parts of the house where there are a few other movie posters. Let's jump around. All right, first and foremost, there used to be a TV right there. That's actually usually where my desk is, but it is all pulled out. But I have a movie poster right here, right above this, A Ghost Story, the Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara picture, directed by David Lowery. I absolutely love this film, but it's also a very emotional one for me that I've only seen once, but it left such a big impact. So moving over from a closet right here, there is El Grande Silencio, which is this Sergio Corbucci film, which is just absolutely an amazing film that Eureka put out, and I really love this artwork. There's a reversible side to it as well, which I enjoy, but I really love this one. But Klaus Kinski, of course, and Jean-Louis Trintignant. Unfortunately, he just recently passed away, so R.I.P. Jean-Louis. All right, standing above my little movies right here, I have a Hammer poster right here of The Revenge of Frankenstein right here. It's a double-sided poster. I can't remember which one is on the opposite side, but I wanted to frame that one. And right next to it is an Arrow Video of RoboCop. Once again, just like the American Werewolf in London, this is the double-sided poster, and I love that original artwork. So for moving on, above my case that you always see in the background of my videos is the Before trilogy films. I'm sorry about that glare. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. So Before Sunrise, of course, 1995. Before Sunset, 2004, and Before Midnight, 2013. Each of these films are 9 years apart in story, 9 years apart in real life, yeah, these are incredible films. I love this trilogy. It's my second favorite trilogy of all time. We'll get to my favorite in a little bit, but yeah, there's this side of the room right here. All right, so standing over another shelf, I have, of course, you're going to get the glare of that, but I have Pan's Labyrinth and In Bruges, which are two of my absolute favorite films of all time. In Bruges being, you know, besides the trilogy I want to talk about in a second, it is my favorite film over there, In Bruges, which we'll get to in a second. But Pan's Labyrinth, one of my favorite films ever. This is an incredible film by Guillermo del Toro, yeah, I still think it's his best. And over here, of course, is In Bruges, and I love, love, love this film. I watch it. I've seen it like 50 times, and I show a lot of people it. But yeah, into this little corner right here of another shelf is the Phantom of the Opera, the 50s Hammer film. This is an indicator poster, and once again on the other end is another film from that box set, and I absolutely love this film, so that's the one I chose. I think the other one's Night Creatures. I could be wrong, but really, really love this film. I think it's incredible, and I love it. All right, so we have got there. We got to my favorite trilogy of all time. This is an old poster. You can kind of see the wrinkles in it. Obviously, there's a glare, but with this Fellowship of the Ring poster, this poster has lived with me kind of since the beginning, and I actually got this custom framed, and it is best as what it can look like, even though it's, like I said, very, very torn. But yes, favorite trilogy of all time, Peter Jackson, 2001 through 2003. This one, of course, is Fellowship of the Ring, which is my favorite of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So obviously there is my collection, and then there is the Pirates of Blood River. Once again, another indicator double-sided poster that they had, and I love this artwork quite a bit. Kerwin Matthews, Christopher Lee, and Glenn Corbett. Once again, really incredible. This is actually my first Hammer box set, so this was my first Hammer poster. So now let's move on to another part of my house. All right, so now we are in my movie room. Sorry, it sounds different in here, but there is a few posters in here. I have The Big Heat, which I actually picked this up in Memphis, Tennessee on Beale Street. This was one of the posters, and I'm like, I absolutely love this noir. Glenn Ford, Gloria Graham, Jocelyn Brando. This is an incredible film, and everyone needs to see it if you don't like some noirs. But anyway, we'll talk about some noirs in a second. As we're moving along, there is an Andrei Rublev film directed by Andrei Tarkovsky. This is the only Tarkovsky film that I have seen, but it has left such an impact on me as somebody who used to be religious. I don't want to get too much into it, but this is very spiritual, this movie. It's an incredible film, so it deserves a poster, and I really love that Criterion art. And then speaking of kind of noirs, I have Bogart and Bacall in The Big Sleep, which is an incredible film from Howard Hawks, of course. I love this film so much. Besides The Big Heat, The Big Sleep is probably in like out of the past. There's a couple of noirs I really love, but Bogart and Bacall, you can never go wrong with them. And then finally, the other poster I have in here is The Princess Bride, which is another one of my absolute favorites of all time, hands down. I love this movie to death, and it deserves a place in my home theater. So this is the movie room. There's not very many posters in here because I do not want to glare on the wall, on the sides of it. Now there is some, you can kind of see it right there. There is a little bit of some metal tin work from film reel, but that's about it. So let's actually jump into one last spot of the house, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, in the last part of my house, and this is a kind of a mess right now in my kitchen. You can't really even see it. There's kind of a glare, but there is a Rashomon poster right here, and I'm trying to get the best angle for it. But yes, I have a Rashomon poster in my kitchen, and this is one of my favorite movies of all time, directed by Akira Kurosawa, of course, starring Toshiro Mifune, Machiko Kyo, and Masayuki Mori. So really phenomenal film. It's one of my absolute favorites, and it's 100% the reason why it's in my collection. And so yeah, those are my movie posters that I have in my house. Well, anyway, that is my poster collection that I have in my home, and I wanted to showcase some of my favorite films of all time, and also some really cool posters that I have been able to get through a lot of these collector's editions and things of the sort. But I wanted to showcase what these posters are and why they're my favorites. And yeah, I'm very lucky to have the wall space to do this, not because I know not everyone does. Yeah, I would love to know, like I said, your posters down in the comment section down below. Which ones do you have hanging up? Which ones do you have kind of like, you know, you're looking for some space. Eventually you'll get there. I would love to know down in the comment section down below. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a like, comment down below, share, hit the notification bell, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Well, I'll see you very soon when I'm back from my travels. I'm not jonesing around.